Hello, you're watching the News Broadcast Daily, and following are today's headlines.
National Assembly Chairman Win Sing meets with Chairman of the Senate and the President of Poland. Experts and business people discuss the benefits and challenges to be brought by a future free trade agreement with the European Union. The Vietnam Year of Family 2013 is launched at a ceremony in Hanoi.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng had a meeting with Chairman of the Senate of Poland Bogdan Borusewicz on March 15th within the framework of his official visit to the Central European country.
Chairman Hùng highly valued the 60-year tradition of friendship and cooperation between Vietnam and Poland. He affirmed that the Vietnamese National Assembly is always willing to cooperate with the Polish side in boosting bilateral relations to a new high level. For his part, Borusewicz expressed his belief that the visit of the Vietnamese delegation contribute to promoting the friendship and cooperation between the two legislative bodies. He spoke highly of Vietnam's socio-economic achievements and said he hopes to further promote cooperation with Vietnam in all fields.
Phu Quoc Island offshore the southern province of Kiên Giang is emerging as a popular tourist destination. However, the island used to house a prison first built by the French and then expanded by the United States-backed southern government to keep Vietnamese revolutionaries. A ceremony was held on the island on March 15th to mark the 40th anniversary of the return of imprisoned revolutionaries after the signing of the Paris Agreement.
An art performance highlighted the bravery and strong will of the communist prisoners in the prison, which was dubbed Hell on Earth. Between 1967 and 1973, nearly 40,000 revolutionaries were detained at this prison. The cemetery on the island now houses the tombs of more than 3,700 martyr heroes nationwide who sacrificed their lives for the fatherland in the two wars against French colonialists and U.S. imperialists. Present at the ceremony, President Trương Tấn Sang, himself a former Phu Quoc prisoner, burned incense in memory of the dead comrades. He stressed that the prisoners, who were only around 20 years old by that time, had demonstrated a strong spirit and were ready to sacrifice themselves for the country. Sang asked authorities of all levels, organizations and individuals to pay more attention to and continue assisting the former prisoners.
A senior delegation from Ho Chi Minh City visited the headquarters of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, in New Delhi on March 15. The delegation was headed by Secretary of the Municipal Party Committee, Lê Thanh Hải.
At the meeting with Rahatan Brand Pilas, Politburo member and head of the Communist Party of India, Marxist Central Committee's Commission for Organization, Hai expressed his gratitude for the support and assistance that Indian communist left-wing forces and people have given to Vietnam. Pilas appreciated the relations between his party and the Communist Party of Vietnam, as well as the ties between the two countries. He suggested the two countries further strengthen bilateral relations in the coming time. The same day, the Vietnamese delegation paid tribute to and laid a wreath at the resting place of Mahatma Gandhi, who led the Indian people in the struggle against the British colonialists. Also on March 15th, Hai and his entourage met with New Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dixit and representatives from Indian businesses.
Negotiations on the free trade agreement between Vietnam and the European Union are about to enter the third round. The Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry has organized a seminar in the Ho Chi Minh City to help businesses understand more about this free trade agreement.
The European Union is one of the largest trading and investment partners of Vietnam. It was the biggest market for Vietnam's exports last year, buying $12.3 billion worth of Vietnamese goods, or almost 80% of the country's total export earnings. The signing of the document is expected to bring Vietnam such benefits as a tariff exemption for at least 90% of its exports and increased investment flows. At the same time, there will be some challenges for Vietnam, including a 0% import tax on most European goods, the opening up of the service market, and greater transparency in business and investment management.
Company to access to our market, because we will reduce, for example, the duty. If you pay less tax, you don't need to be very prepared. If you ask to pay less tax, it's better for you. There are some technical issues where there could be a bit of a challenge, but that's something you will have even without the free trade agreement. It is clear that if Vietnamese company wants to sell.
Lê Chiêu Dung, Deputy Head of the Department of Multilateral Trade Policy under the Ministry of Industry and Trade, said to enjoy tax incentives, local companies must meet strict rules of origin of raw materials and accessories required by the European Union. However, this is a big hurdle for enterprises since they still rely on material imports. The two sides are expected to conclude the free trade agreement by the end of 2014. Two negotiation rounds have completed and the third negotiation round is planned for next month. Delegates said Vietnamese companies have a lot to do before actually reaping the benefits from the free trade agreement.
The 47th Southeast Asian Minister of Education Council Conference will take place in Hanoi from March 19th to 21st. The information was released by the Ministry of Education and Training on March 15.
This is the second time Vietnam hosts the event. The ministerial-level forum aims to discuss initiatives and policies of the ASEAN and set down the direction for implementing the programs and projects of the Southeast Asian Minister of Education Organization. The Vietnamese Minister of Training and Education will serve as president of the Southeast Asian Minister of Education Council in the 2013 and 2015 period. In the framework of the conference, legal agreements for the operation of the Southeast Asian Minister of Education Organization Center for Lifelong Learning in Vietnam will be finalized.
A solemn ceremony was held at the Sơn Mỹ relic site in the central province of Quảng Ngãi on March 15th to commemorate the 45th anniversary of the Sơn Mỹ massacre.
Thousands of local people gathered at the event to gather a couple of dozen survivors of the massacre. Local authorities and delegations from Japan and the Republic of Korea to pray for the souls of the 504 victims who were killed during the bloody massacre conducted by the U.S. Army 45 years ago. They burned incense and lit wreaths at the monument in memory of the victims. Flower garlands and color lanterns were released on the canal where 170 innocent people were killed. On March 16, 1968, the U.S. troops killed 504 unarmed citizens in Tĩnh Khê Commune, Sơn Tịnh district. Most of them were the elderly, women, and children. Hundreds of houses, along with thousands of heads of cattle and poultry and no food, were also burned and destroyed on the day.
A ceremony was held in Hanoi on March 16 to launch the Vietnam Year of Family 2013. Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Thiện Nhân attended the event.
Themed Connecting Love, the year will feature numerous activities to raise public awareness of the role of the family, gender equality, and domestic violence. Public campaigns include supporting activities for family building, setting up happy family clubs, and improving people's knowledge of the current laws on family issues. Addressing the ceremony, Deputy Prime Minister Nguyen affirmed that the goal of the Vietnamese party and government is to create prosperous and happy families. He urged relevant sectors and agencies to complete the plans of building sustainable families as foundations for a happy and stable society this year. A parade around Hoàn Kim Lake was held at the end of the ceremony, drawing the participation of many artists and local people.
And that is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.